I've worked in and around plenty of people during my days, I'm sure you have, that had the title of leader, and yet the fruit of their work was a little suspect based on their title. And in reality, we could call it micromanagement. But how do we know the difference? Hey, it's Scott Beebe with Business on Purpose. Let's talk about that briefly here for about 4 or 5 minutes. I think it'll be really helpful in understanding how you can motivate a team, a workforce, and keep those separate between leadership and micromanage. Let's call it out when it is. Sometimes we just have weak moments, and we get into that, but we want to be clear. See, leadership is not an abstract concept, but it's a practical skill, something you can hone that is essential for success in any business. So as a leader, your primary role is to equip your people with the knowledge and the tools they need to handle ongoing challenges, and then to proactively sharpen those tools through what we call the RPMs of great leadership: repetition, predictability, and meaning. So it's important to understand that many problems in business are actually cyclical. They're perennial. They do not disappear, but they resurface over and over and over again. So you might punch chaos in the mouth. It just goes off in the woods and it comes out some other side, deceived and dressed up in another costume. See, chaos is a constant threat. It's an enemy. It hates you. And that chaos is a threat in any business and any business environment. You might successfully fend it off temporarily, but eventually it will return, and understanding that truth is key to effective leadership. Instead of hoping with your fingers crossed that problems are just going to vanish, a wise leader prepares their business to manage those recurring issues. Consider the example of a European soccer match. In fact, at the time of this recording, a champion was just crowned in the Premier League. The presence of stewards and security personnel at those events, they illustrate how these organizations can equip themselves to handle predictable challenges. So you'll see them in little yellow coats all over the stadium. We actually went and visited a top league match in Greece just last year, and we were amazed at the number of armed guards around. Why? They were anticipating predictable problems. So rather than attempting to eliminate rowdy behavior entirely, they have developed systems and trained personnel to manage those situations as they arise. They realize people are going to be idiots at soccer games from time to time. So the scenario translates well into our business communities. As a leader, your job is to outfit your team with the right tools and the knowledge to tackle recurring problems. Think of it as filling an empty tool belt for each team member. You're not just providing the tools, you're also teaching them how to use the tools and reminding them to keep those tools sharp, at the ready. Leadership, then, can be defined as this way. Ready? You may want to write this down. The equipping of individuals with knowledge tools to manage perennial problems. Notice we don't use the word solve, but to manage perennial problems, while also proactively sharpening those tools. It's an ongoing cycle of RPM preparation and improvement. Let me read it again. Leadership is the equipping of individuals with knowledge tools to manage perennial problems and the proactive sharpening of those tools. For contractors, for business owners, embracing this perspective can be super beneficial. In fact, for any business owner. Recognize that challenges will resurface and focus on building a team capable of managing those issues. So your role is to continually stock your team's tool belts with the right resources and ensure they know how to use them. It's important to distinguish this from micromanagement. Effective leadership empowers team members to handle problems independently using the tools and knowledge that you have provided, assuming you have provided them. Micromanagement, on the other hand, involves excessive control and can hinder growth and efficiency. And usually the person who lends themselves to micromanagement is the person who has never spent the time to get all of the systems, the process, the methodology out of their head. And so instead of just laying it out and going, hey, this is the ethos of the business that we're building, they want to ensure, and I'm guilty of this in the past, that you do it exactly this way every single time, 120%. When in reality, we have a core value called 85-15. The business has provided 85%, but we need you to fill in the gap of the 15. That's more leadership through RPMs, repetition, predictability, and meaning. So when you adopt this leadership style, the RPM leader, you create a resilient organization capable of navigating the recurring challenges of your industry. Hey, it's real simple. If you want to hop on a call about 15 minutes with one of our coaches and talk to them about this because you're really struggling with this idea of leadership and micromanagement, then do it. Go to businessonpurpose.com/ask. And each one of our coaches has set aside just a few minutes each week to be able to have these conversations with you. And if you want to know how you can work with us, just ask and we'll tell you. businessonpurpose.com/ask.